And now back out comes the offense. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Goff on first down. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Zach Brown in there to sack him for a loss of 6. Here's Goff now on second down. And the pressure gets to him again. Zach Brown in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down. Now Sanders. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. Final play of the half, it's Roethlisberger. And Grant's got it over the middle. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So here they come, the road team now getting the football first to start this third quarter. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by LT, the Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
And 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
They go play action here on first down. This is caught, and he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. 18 yards there, and it'll be a first and goal. They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route, It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles. Ricky Williams punching it in from a yard away. And this offense continues to pour it on. And his kick is right through. Gold now out to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And here now the offense heading back out there. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit.
Welcome back live to Orlando. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. They'll try the air now with Goff. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
Well, struggles continue. Open targets, and he keeps missing them. Pressing way too much. He may have a big arm, but until he learns how to harness it and have some touch, he's going to continue to struggle.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit. Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Again, it's Williams. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. On 3rd down, Roethlisberger escaping the pressure right. And able to find Graham, complete. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone. This guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes, carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Now this offense ready to head back out there. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame. All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey. Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
Yeah, Sanders now to return. 49-yard punt, 5 on the return. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Oh, Roethlisberger going to throw. Sliding out of the pocket. On the run. He'll let this is caught inside the 15. And they're going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again, and who knows, he may meet up with this team again.
Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave him with a 3rd down and 6 to go.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run and the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is fielded at the 7. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Buying time to his left. Now this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That one goes for 36 yards. Roethlisberger going to throw it. That'll be caught over the middle by Moss. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. And on the ground they go with a running back. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. On second down, here's Roethlisberger. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line.
But nothing takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Roethlisberger will throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Graham. Oh, wait, hold everything. A timeout has been called. Seemingly silly with 1 second remaining in this game. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th.
77.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And the athleticism on the spin move allows him to pick up the first before he's brought down. The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt.
On that beat.
Addicted to balling, I have to get my cash. The money is I'm addicted to balling. I have to get my ends. I pull up in my Benz, flexing, counting my bands. Started getting money. I see how it feels to be rich. I live by the beach now, that's how I should live. Since I was a toddler, I knew that I would become this. I cannot move slow, that's a big no. Gotta chase this money, bankroll after big bankroll. I must get this money, I must get this money. I must get this money, get this money, get this money. I'm addicted to balling. I have to get my cash. The money is calling. Got bands, got bands, got bands. I'm addicted to balling. I'm addicted to balling. I have to get my ends.
Got 100, I need bands. Now look at my dance. What is my jam? Run and get you that bands. Turning that party up. Used to have a my Nautica. You know the money be calling up. Friend, I'm tryna all of ya. Talking body ballin', watch this. Started let me too quick. Went to Oakland with a few. Took 'em all you break. Dip. Yeah. Imagine what I paid for the rollie. Still from the police. 24 carats on my Kobe. That for the homies.
I'm addicted to balling. I have to get my cash. The money is calling. Got bands, got bands, got bands. I'm addicted to balling. I'm addicted to balling. I have to get my ends.
come in. Sounds like I seats in there. I'm on your turf again. This, that, you from the back of the. I got a girl, Brad. She go to battle. LED load the tag. I go in back of the. They all from that. My diamonds, they all look at. This, that. I go to bed on bed. I got the beam in the flats. I got a in the back. Haters, they talk the chat. They step on the rock, the man. I'm a K-back. 400K. I found out where you lay at. I got the lurking and they hate cats. Pockets stay fat. I got the from the block and they screaming, they know what banks at. I got the work on the avenue, they know what tanks at. I got the that live in the mansion, they know what that. I got some that's up in the jet and they know what that. I came on top of the building, yeah, my we had a plan. We came on top of the building, yeah, my we never ran. Down there, thought that I had a fan. Oh, hey, any 10 o'clock, got a flight out, yeah, I'm going back out to Japan. I got 2 Billy truck and a bitch door with a land. Bruce Wayne, I'm Batman. Batman, I'm best man. I got my best man. I go to hotels when I step out, yeah, your boy got a doorman. I go to nightclubs with a, yeah, they call me the madman. I ain't no madman, I just go crazy, man. Ball hard, can't face, man. Choppers, rip wasteland. This what happen when you give it a taste life, then you give it a wasteland. This what happens when you give it a fake life, and then the aping. I live with birds come in. Sounds like I see it in there. Hey, I'm on your turf again. This, that, you from the back of the. I got a girl, Brad. She go to battle. I live with birds come in. Sounds like I see it in there. Hey, I'm on your turf again. This, that, you from the back of the. I got a girl, Brad. She go to battle.
Checking to go. I'm gone. A lot of these look lost. They broke. They think it's my fault. No cost. I want that cost. I'm dripping. I'm stuck with the sauce. Good drip. But she love you. Don't cut your. Breno Javinci is white. Limited Louis that's light. Rape in the city that's light. LED look at the light. We the ones don't like. But you look too light.